Hello everybody, welcome back to Alex Reviews. This review is going to be the Peanuts movie. I was going to do either The Garbage Pail Kids or Spirited Away, however I did not get a chance to watch either in the past 2 days, so the Peanuts movie. I watched it for the third time today and I was like, well, this film definitely needs way more appreciation than it gets. So, let's get started. This is a movie directed by Steve Martino, and it was written by Craig and Brian Schultz, related to the guy who made the comics, Charles M. Schultz, and Cornelius Juliano. This is about Charlie Brown. He keeps failing at everything that he does when he's not even trying to do some things. But the red-haired girl moves into town, and she's good looking, I gotta get with her. So that progresses throughout the film until he eventually does. I love Charlie Brown, just saying that off the bat, because if you do not like Charlie Brown, which I've never heard anyone say that they hated him, I heard some people say that they don't really care, or that he's okay, you're just gonna think that this film's okay, or not that good. You actually have to kind of like Charlie Brown to like this film. And I love Charlie Brown. I think it's one of the best out there. Definitely. So, let's get started with the review. Originality. I give it a 3 out of 5. The film's fairly original. It's basically the Charlie Brown formula of trying at something very hard, and he tries his best, and he tries his hardest, but he always fails until the end. And this is honestly why it's getting a 3, because he actually succeeds in the end. That doesn't happen in Charlie Brown much. So, props. 3 out of 5. Predictability, it's a 1 out of 5. This is about the only... I have 2 problems with this. I'll get to the other one later. One, this film's so predictable. You can tell what's going to happen. You can tell when he's going to fail. You can tell when a cringeworthy scene's about to come. I don't like cringe humor, but I thought this film did it decently. I hate cringe humor. Cringe and potty or dirty or that kind of humor. I don't like that kind. Those are 2 kind of humors I don't understand why people like. I don't understand. I just don't get that kind of humor. Unless it's to a character I hate, then go for it. But this film, you know what's going to happen right after you see what just happened. You can predict the next scene, basically. The characters. 10 out of 10. I love them all. I love Charlie Brown. I love Linus. I love Franklin. I love Schroeder. I love Lucy. I love Lucy. I love Sally. I love the curly-haired girl. I love them all. Pigpen. And my only deal is with Lucy. However, Lucy is supposed to be the way that she is. She's not supposed to be the Miss Nice Girl. She's supposed to be mean. And here's the thing that this basically series does right, that another show, a bunch of other shows get wrong. How you do a Lucy type character correctly. Look at Lucy. And if any of you have seen the show Arthur, DW, they're kind of the same character, even though you might can relate DW to Sally sometimes because of how bratty Sally is, but she doesn't get her way always. But DW always gets her way, and she always bitches and complains about shit. Lucy bitches and complains about shit, but she doesn't always get her way. In fact, she rarely gets her way. And sometimes she does, but rarely ever does Lucy get her way with stuff. And that is how you write the character good. That's how you write a Lucy character. I call it the Lucy character because Lucy's just about one of the only ones that are done right. And I give major props, 10 out of 10 on characters for this film. And it's not just the film, it's with all of the Charlie Brown series. Minus maybe a couple instances, she's always been a perfect character. She's not my favorite. I still think Linus is probably my favorite, or Schroeder, because I think Schroeder's the funniest character. But, yeah. The story and the plot. Honestly, the story and the plot wasn't too interesting. It was the basics. And if it was just the A plot, it would probably get a 9 out of 10. However, my second problem with this film, I hate the B plot. I'm sorry. I did not give 2 flying fucks what Snoopy was doing. So Snoopy in the first act finds this typewriter. I forgot how I think it was thrown out of the school or something. And so he starts typing on it and imagining a story of him and the Red Baron because that's popular. This movie references just about every single one of its uh, other little features, and sometimes it does it so under the radar. Sometimes it's just super obvious with the psychiatrist, the Red Baron. It's just some other things in there that it just references and doesn't even care to hide. And this is one of them. However, I never liked the Red Baron in the It's a Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown. I didn't understand it. I did not know why it was there. I think it was there to waste time. And that's what I think it happened with this film. This film was so generic, it needed a B plot to progress the story along, and I guess they took the Red Baron thing and just went with it. However, I didn't like it. Maybe it's because if you liked it in It's the Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown, you'll probably like it here. And the animation on it is beautiful, don't get me wrong. But the second time I watched the film, I didn't the first time because it was my first time, and I didn't the third time because it was the time right before I was going to review this film. The second time I skipped all of the scenes with the Red Baron and Snoopy because it was just, I didn't care about it. I think I didn't skip one of them because, like, the last scene. But that's just a minor gripe. It does bring the story and the plot down a little bit because it wasn't a good part. I don't think it should have been in the movie. So 7 out of 10. The moral: always keep trying. Perfect. 10 out of 10. There's not really a need to explain this further. The animation. This animation style I thought was amazing. Like, this is probably the best animated film that I've seen in a while. Definitely 10 out of 10. It was just greatly animated. They mixed, like, like a comic strip. When someone was thinking of something, they'll put a comic strip down there, but it was still the 3D stock. Not stock, but the 3D, like, yeah, I don't know. You have to see the film to understand what I'm talking about. The animation was absolutely beautiful, especially in the action scenes, especially with the B-plot with Snoopy in them. That's the only reason why I actually really liked that part, because the animation was just amazing. Is it or will it be dated? Don't think so. It does have a couple pop culture songs. That's why it's a 4 out of 5. But it's not going to hurt the film, and it's not going to be very badly dated. The impact I got from the film. Or I skipped the pacing, sorry. The pacing of the film. 4 out of 5, like I said. The B-plot was so boring that it kind of brought the pacing down a little bit. I'm just like, I'm ready for this scene to end, I'm ready for this scene to end, I'm ready for this scene to end. And it would not end. It felt like it was unending. The never-ending story. Yeah, but besides that, 4 out of 5, the rest of the film flowed perfectly. The impact, I felt full impact from this film, and I'm not afraid to admit it. I cried at this film. Is this the first? No, I cried at Zootopia just a tad, because there wasn't really anything super sad, but I cried when Nick and Judy, like, didn't have their, like, they stopped being friends. But this is the first film that I really actually cried at, and it wasn't cry because I was sad, it was cry because I was happy. I was finally happy that Charlie Brown finally, after, I don't know, years and years, decades, he finally got his way on something, and that's what I was proud of. And I cried at it. I'm not afraid to admit that. I cry at a bunch of things now. I can probably cry at some terrible films, too. Probably because of how bad they are. But I did cry at this film, and I'm not afraid to admit when I cry at something. Does it hit the target audience of Beyond? 10 out of 10. It references all of its older cartoons, so the older people should be able to get them, unless they just forgot. But yeah, it definitely hits it. Relatability, I related to Charlie Brown. You could probably relate to somebody in this film. I give it a 10 out of 10. You can probably relate to somebody in this film. I definitely related to Charlie Brown. I usually feel like Charlie Brown, and honestly, I'm going to go back to this film, and when I watch this film, this is going to be like my inspiration film. I'm going to try and be Charlie Brown, try and get over everything, and try again, and try until I finally succeed. this is probably going to be the film that helps me with that. And finally, the voice acting. Okay, here's the deal. Most of these people were the kids especially, all the kids were voice acted by kids. And since they just the adults, they didn't really have voice actors that were adults. So, these kids didn't do a bad job. I did think Charlie Brown was off. I'm just saying that right here. That's why it's not a 10 out of 10. I thought Charlie Brown's voice was a bit more... I don't know, there was just something about it. Noah Schnapp, who did this, who's acted in a lot of things, shockingly. I looked at what he did. He's done a lot of stuff for Disney. But, yeah. Charlie Brown, his voice wasn't quite there. Anywho, this film gets an 8.8 out of 10. This was an amazing film. I'd definitely go see it if you haven't already. I'm going to say some... I'm going to put some films down below, and you can decide whether you want me, what you want me to review. Comment below. I'm going to give you a list of things that I would like for you to review, and yeah, I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.